Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to all of you in our new lecture, lecture 9, which is about chapter 8. Today we will start chapter 8. In our previous lectures, we completed chapter 7, bioenergetics. Today we are going to start chapter 8, whose title is the nutrition. Dear students, in this chapter we will discuss mineral nutrition, we will discuss components of the human food, we will discuss human alimentary canal or the digestive system, and then different disorders of the gut or the digestive system we will discuss, inshallah. First of all, we need to know what is nutrition. Actually, nutrition is the process by which organisms obtain, are prepared or absorb and converted the body substances for growth and energy. This is the process that how the organisms obtain their food, how organisms prepare their own food, how this food is then processed and converted into different substances for the growth and energy purposes. Dear students, according to the nutrition, the organisms are classified into two major groups, autotrophic and heterotrophic. And heterotrophic. The autotrophic means the mode of nutrition in which organisms prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis or chemosynthesis. Usually the plants and certain bacteria, some bacteria have this mode of nutrition. And heterotrophic mode of nutrition is a nutrition in which organisms cannot prepare their own food, they depend upon the other organisms for their nutrition, and the main example is the animal, fungi. They cannot make their own food because they don't have chlorophyll, they don't have photosynthetic pigments, so they cannot prepare their own food. So they are called heterotrophic. So on the basis of nutrition, we can divide the organisms into two major groups. Now, dear students, our next topic is the mineral nutrition in plants. So, usually, everybody think that plants doesn't need anything because they are autotrophic. Okay. Mineral nutritions the mineral nutritions in plants. Dear students, rather than plants are autotrophic, still some students may think that the plants prepare their own food, so they doesn't need anything. They need some minerals, still they need some minerals to perform different type of metabolic activities, to form different kind of structures inside their bodies. So the plants need different type of minerals for their nutrition purpose. And the mineral nutrients are divided into two groups. I will tell you another point of view also. Only nutrients can be divided in plants into two major groups, that are non-mineral and mineral. First of all, we know nutrition, but what are the nutrients? Nutrients are those substances which we get as the result of nutrition, and they perform the particular function. They are needed for different metabolic activities, or they are used to synthesize different kind of structural molecules. These substances are called nutrients. Now in plants, there are non-mineral and mineral nutrients. So non-mineral nutrients are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. These are the non-mineral nutrients. Why they are called non-mineral nutrients? Because carbon is taken by the plants as a carbon dioxide, the gaseous form. Hydrogen is obtained as a water component because water is H2O, and oxygen is also taken in gaseous form. So that's why these nutrients are called non-gaseous, non-mineral nutrients. But on the other hand, the mineral nutrients are of two types. Let me explain it. Mineral nutrients. The mineral nutrients are of two types: macronutrients and micronutrients. The macronutrient, the word macro means large, but here the definition is the nutrients which are needed in large quantity These nutrients are called macronutrients. If we define it, that the nutrients which occur in the large quantity, it will be wrong. The nutrients which are required by the plants or which are needed by the plants in large quantity, they are called macronutrients. For example, nitrogen, magnesium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium and potassium. These are thought to be the macronutrients, they are required in large quantity. And the micronutrients are the nutrients which are required in small quantity or in small amount. We call them as micronutrients. For example, iron we have, boron we have, molybdenum we have, zinc we have. So these are the two types of mineral nutrition: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those nutrients which are needed or which are required in a large quantity or which are needed in large amount. They are called macronutrients. And those nutrients which are required in small amount or small quantity, they are called micronutrients. Now, dear students, we will move ahead, and first of all we will start and discuss different kind of macronutrients. One by one we will take each nutrient and we will explain its importance in the plants and what type of role they are usually playing. So let's discuss macronutrients first and then micronutrients. The first is phosphorus. Phosphorus. The phosphorus symbol is P. What are its function or what is its role in plants? First of all, it is the major component of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is an energy coin. Without phosphorus, how we can make an ATP molecule, which is an energy coin. Second, it is important part of DNA and RNA. In DNA and RNA, phosphorus is present and it is absorbed by the plants in the form of phosphate from the soil. Along with that, it is also coenzyme. It plays a major role in the seed germination. Photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, if you got remember that in the light reaction there was a coenzyme NADP which was converted into NADPH. So phosphorus is very important in the photosynthesis. Light reaction product is NADPH in which phosphorus is present. Second, in seed germination, how it plays role. Enzymes which are responsible for the germination of the seed, the phosphorus is the coenzyme of that enzymes. And last one is protein formation. formation. Protein formation means in protein synthesis, its role. It plays vital role in the protein formation. Protein synthesis is a process in which our cellular organelle ribosome assemble different type of amino acids under the instruction of the DNA in the form of genetic code. A sequence of amino acids are formed which is called as, and you know, chain of amino acids is called protein. So in protein formation, phosphorestat, its important role. The next is potassium. Okay. First of all, it plays its major role in the opening and closing of stomata. In chapter 9, we will study the mechanism of closing and opening of the stomata, and potassium have its role. We have a theory called potassium ion flux theory, which tells us that this is potassium which is playing its vital role in the opening and closing of the stomata, and it opens the channels for the water entry inside the guard cells to keep the stomata open, and then when they get out from the guard cells, usually the guard cells lose the turgidity and the stomata get closed. So potassium have a major role in the opening and closing of stomata. Secondly, potassium is also a coenzyme. And third, it plays a vital role in osmoregulation of plants. What does it mean by osmoregulation? Osmoregulation means the regulation of osmosis process, how much water is getting inside the cells and how much it is getting out. The osmosis is the process in which the water molecules move from high concentration to low concentration through a semipermeable membrane. So this osmoregulation is controlled by the potassium. So these are the two nutrients we explained. Now we will move ahead and we will explain the other nutrients. Next is sulfur. Sulfur is a component of protein. There are certain amino acids in which sulfur is very, very important. Along with that, it's present in vitamins, and also is a cofactor of certain enzymes also, and the part of the enzyme. Dear students, Along with that, sulfur is usually present in the oil seeds, very important for the oil seeds. If you got to remember the very popular mustard oil who give yellow coloration, this yellow coloration is due to the presence of the sulfur. Sulfur is present abundantly, which is a good hair tonic. Mustard oil is a very good hair tonic and safe for the use for the hair nourishment, or it keep your hairs very healthy. So in oil seeds usually the sulfur is present. So sulfur is very important for them. Calcium is the next one. Calcium is needed for the membrane permeability. As a secondary messenger also it is used, membrane permeability. Along with that, calcium is also part of the cell wall. If you got to remember the structure of the cell wall, there was three main parts of the cell wall, plant cell wall. One was primary wall, secondary wall, and third was middle lamella. The middle lamella it is also called the non-cellulosic part of cell wall, is made up of pectin, and pectin is present in the form of calcium pectate and magnesium pectate, but calcium pectate is in majority. So in cell wall middle lamella we need calcium, because without middle lamella there will be problem in the cell binding and the formation of the tissue. Middle lamella is responsible for the formation of the tissue and the binding of the cells. So this is so it is made up of pectin, and pectin is present in the form of calcium pectate. So calcium is very important for the middle lamella, the non-cellulosic part of the cell wall. The next we have the very important nitrogen and magnesium. First of all, nitrogen, one of the major macronutrient. Nitrogen is obtained by the plants from the soil in the form of nitrates. What is the role of nitrogen in the plants? The major role of nitrogen in the plant is the formation of chlorophyll. Each chlorophyll molecule have 4 nitrogens, which make 4 propyroid rings, and it is a main structural component of the chlorophyll molecule. Number in ATP, rather than phosphorus, we have adenosine, and it is a nitrogenous base. There are 4 nitrogenous bases in DNA: adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, without which you can't imagine the structure of the DNA. And in RNA, instead of thymine, they have another uracil. So it's very important part of the DNA and RNA and ATP also. Along with that, in amino acids, what is amino acid? Amino acid is the structural and functional unit of the protein. If you study the structure of amino acid, one carboxylic group it have and one ammonium group it have. So nitrogen is a very important part of the amino acid. Along with that, it's have other importances also, as a coenzyme explain its major role. If we got deficiency of the nitrogen, what will happen? If we got deficiency of nitrogen, we have a condition called chlorosis, in which yellowing of leaves usually take place. Yellowing of leaves take place. Along with that, growth is retarded, the amount of chlorophyll decrease. That's why the chlorosis occurs. Chlorosis is the condition in which the leaves become yellow. It has some toxicities also. If you have abundant amount, more than requirement, if you have nitrogen, then they have toxicity. And that toxicity is the dark, is appeared in the leaf in the form of dark green color. If you have dark green leaves, it means they have nitrogen more than its requirement. That's why the leaves become dark green. Now the last one we are going to discuss is the magnesium. Magnesium is the last one. This is Mg. Okay, magnesium is the main component of the chlorophyll. Are central part of chlorophyll. If we have one magnesium in the center, we have 4 nitrogens surrounding a single magnesium, and as magnesium have double positive charge, the overall charge of the chlorophyll is also positive. That's why in thunderstorms you must observe that usually the green plants become the victims of the thunderstorms. Why? Because usually the negative charge is being produced, which is approaching any near positive charge on the earth, and plants are above the surface of the earth having certain heights are more close to that opposite charge, so they attract them, and thus usually we experience a thunderstorm. And magnesium is a central part, and that's why the magnesium is a central part, and due to the magnesium, the overall chlorophyll has positive charge. Second, its very important role is in the protein synthesis, how it's play its role in protein synthesis. Dear students, you know the structure of the ribosome. It has small subunit and large subunit. Magnesium acts as a cation to bind both of the subunits together. They keep them together and it acts as a cation. Along with it, magnesium is the coenzyme, is the cofactor of many enzymes. 78 known enzymes having cofactor. One of them is hexokinase, which I told you in my beginning lectures, that hexokinase is the enzyme which is an initiative enzyme which start the process of the glycolysis. Its cofactor is magnesium. If we experience the deficiency of the magnesium, what will happen? If we experience the deficiency of the magnesium, then definitely we will get chlorosis, yellowing of the leaves. It means that the chlorosis will not occur only on the deficiency of the nitrogen, but also the deficiency of magnesium can also bring chlorosis. For example, if you have a plant and chlorosis usually appear, and you check and the nitrogen amount is sufficient and there is no deficiency of nitrogen, then you must think that this is the deficiency of the magnesium then, because magnesium is also a very essential part, a central part of the chlorophyll molecule. Now, dear students, I will move ahead towards micronutrients. We will discuss the micronutrients and their role in their different roles, how they are playing their different role. So let's discuss the micronutrients. Once again, repeating the definition of micronutrients. Nutrients are required in small amount in small quantity or in small amount. The first one is the iron. Fe. It plays its role in the photosynthesis and respiration also, and along with it activated many enzymes. But let me to explain. In photosynthesis and respiration and electron transport chain etc. We have a molecule which is an electron carrier that is called cytochrome. Cytochrome plays vital role in both photosynthesis and respiration, in the light reaction, and in the electron transport chain of the respiration. But here I have written electron transport chain for both photosynthesis and respiration. So dear students, you have to know that electron transport chain always also occur in the light reaction of the photosynthesis. So cytochrome is an iron-centered molecule. So if you have no iron, there will be no cytochrome. If there is no cytochrome, how you will perform the process of photosynthesis and respiration? Along with it activates many enzymes. It is the activator of many enzymes. Next is molybdenum. Next is molybdenum. Molybdenum is the component of enzyme that reduce nitrate to ammonia. Component of enzyme which reduce nitrate to ammonia. This process is called aminification, conversion into ammonia. That enzymes usually need molybdenum. If you have nitrate, NO3, you need to convert them into NH2, and which is the major part of the amino acid. So that enzymes which perform that function, usually they need molybdenum. Next one is copper. Copper is component of many enzymes. Then we have manganese. Manganese is Manganese is involved in enzyme activity for photosynthesis, respiration, and nitrogen metabolism. Those enzymes which play their role in photosynthesis, respiration, and nitrogen metabolism. All these enzymes which are used here, they need manganese as a cofactor. It is used as a cofactor. Next is the zinc. zinc, chlorine, and nickel. It is a coenzyme, it is a cofactor of many enzymes. Along with we have chlorine, it is involved in the osmosis of water. And nickel we have is required in nitrogen metabolism. But dear students, chlorine is needed in very small quantity in traces. We need them. All the micronutrients are required in small quantity, but chlorine is needed in traces. It is required in very small amount. So dear students, it was all about the different type of mineral nutrients which are required by the plants to perform different type of activities. In our coming lecture, inshallah, we will discuss the fertilizers, their role, their advantages, disadvantages, and then we will start human food components or human food nutrients. Thank you so much.